Hey guys, this is Dinosaur Drawer, and this is part 2 on how to draw the ankylosaurus. So what I forgot to do in part 1 was give a shout out to PaleoDraw, because PaleoDraw, when I talked about someone called doing some draw, and I said that he had a lot of hybrid drawing videos, I was mistaking those hybrids from PaleoDraw, because the hybrids are from PaleoDraw, and he also draws very accurate dinosaurs and stuff, and he's a very good drawer. So if you have the time, just go check his channel out and please subscribe to him, because he is a really good drawer and he can really use your help. Alright. So what we're gonna do right now is draw something like a circle over here. Something like this. And do the same thing over here, but now start from here. Alright. And then do the same thing. Draw one more over here. Very lightly. And then from over here they just change into some things like this. Just attach them to his body like this. And do this with every one of them. So yeah, the Crash McQuarrie version is very detailed, and I believe he uses very large pieces of paper to draw, to kind of illustrate these dinosaurs on them, and so I won't be able to put in that much detail. And also I have to pay attention to how long this tutorial will take, so I can't draw in every detail like on the Crash McQuarrie version. Alright, and from here on there are no more of those huge spikes, but what does happen is another row kind of goes like this and then just stays in the middle of these things, and I believe the last one is about over here, so you can try and draw those in. Kind of go like this and then just keep drawing them in. Okay, and now you get one other row from, I believe, let's see, there's one other row over here. You can just draw in those circles so you know what area you have to cover for those kind of spikes. And they just kind of stop over here, I believe. Yeah, they stop over here. And then you have one other row that starts over here, and then it goes like this. Get very small over here, and then that's the row that actually goes to the tail. So over here there's a very small one. And over here as well. These are just very small ones. Small one over here. This one is very small as well, but a very wide, very large. Well, not large, but it's not as pointy. Then there's another small one over here. Another one just like this one. And then there's a larger one over here with a slightly different shape to it. Then a large one over here as well. A little bit larger than that one. Okay. And let's see. This one is just as big as the past one. And then the last one is over here. Something like this. It's starting to look quite good. Okay. Yeah, it's really hard to get those small details in and stuff. So this is probably going to take 3 parts to make all this. And these are just very small ones, actually. They're just a little bit smaller than the ones above it. So just take those as reference. This one is supposed to be a little bit bigger, as well as this one. Alright, so now we have every little spike in the drawing. That's a huge step. So now we can start on putting in some detail into the drawing and stuff. And let's just draw the rest of his tail in. So yeah, what I want to do is make this a little darker, and also kind of make it look like there are some solid lines over there, like there's really a lot of armor. Alright. Now what you want to do is get some shadow on the left part of every row. Make some shadow in between it. And try and add some shadow at those circles that we just made. At the bottom and at the edge of those lines. And this line is actually kind of going like this. A lot of kind of scales. Also over here. Yeah, you can really clearly see where those lines kind of that it's not one solid piece. There's a lot of wrinkles over here, so draw that in later. And now we want to focus on doing the shadow underneath every kind of circle and every kind of spike that we drew in. And also a lot of shadow over here on those edges. And there are a lot of scales on top of these plates. And over here there's actually a very big highlight, but I'm not going going to draw that in. I'm just trying to make some shadow impressions so that it looks like it's a little bit bumpy and stuff. And we can maybe even try to create something like this. Some lines that go between them, so you get so it gets a little easier to draw in that shadow. So over here there will be this part will be the darkest part. And over here will be the lightest part. So we can kind of draw in something like a highlight, but we won't exaggerate it as much as it is in the Crash McGreary photo. And then it goes something like this. This is a lot lighter. A whole lot lighter actually. You can barely see it on the reference image. Alright, and I'm going to darken in these kind of things because there's a lot of shadow beneath it. This one's supposed to be a little bit more like this. I'm just putting my paper on an angle again. I'm sorry if you can't follow it because of this, but it just makes it easier for me to draw in at some certain angles. And also it's a little bit quicker. So now what you want to do is make this side of every those things, make it darker, and just let a few lines go like this. Especially at the bottom, they have to be very dark. So yeah, I'm not really talking too much because you actually already know how to do this, because I just told you, so there's not really much to say right now. Except that it's really hot out here. Not sure how hot, but it's really hot in my room at least. Alright, and now you wanna get some shadow impressions underneath it. Also on his leg over here as well. Alright. Now I can make these a little darker as well on this side. Yeah, this is really a hard drawing to do in the amount of time that I have. At least it is for me. I mean, I'm not such a great drawer yet. I'm really trying to improve. So this is kind of a challenge for me because of how limited my time is, and compared to my skills, my drawing skills for right now. I think this whole part will be about how to draw in those kind of horns. It's not called a horn, it's called a spike, I believe. So it gets really light out here on this part, so don't put in too much of the highlights and stuff over here. I mean, not too much of the shadow and stuff, just a very little amount. Very little amount. Over here they get a little darker. It's just a little bit more. They are a little bit more angled at the way that they catch a little bit more shadow. Catch a little bit less sun. And then they start getting shadow from under here. A lot of it. Yeah, so compared to the Crest McQuarrie version, his one is let's say if it were a picture, then his drawing would be like a very high definition camera. Well, it would be caught with a very high definition camera, and mine with a very crappy kind of mobile phone. Because it's not what it should be. It's not very detailed and stuff, but again, I don't have the time to create drawings that look extremely good and stuff. And then just create a few those kind of skills over here. And get some highlights going. And with highlights I mean just put them a little bit farther apart and stuff, and it will kind of look like a little bit of highlight. Alright. And then there's a line over here for the shadow. So yeah, just make sure that at the parts where there's the highest amount of shadow, that you darken that line a little bit to make it look a little bit better. I need to start using this. Not sure where all the hairs are coming from. I think it's just for my dog. I mean, I've got a lot of dogs and stuff, and of course sometimes there will be a hair stuck to your clothing, and yeah, that's the reason, I believe. And again, there's a lot of shadow over here. Alright. This is beginning to look a little bit like it's supposed to. Alright, and now just draw in a few of those very dark skulls like I just did over there. Especially on the shadowy parts, where there's supposed to be a lot of shadow. And at the highlights you just make them a little bit lighter.